My beloved child, there are quiet moments in life that arrive without announcement, moments that seem ordinary until you realize they have been gently guiding your heart toward a truth you were never meant to fear. This is one of those moments. Don't skip, because what unfolds now is not about losing someone, it is about finally seeing what has been hidden beneath the surface all along. You may have noticed small changes that were difficult to explain, little silences where words once lived, gentle distance where warmth once seemed effortless. Your heart sensed that something was shifting, even when your mind searched for reasons to dismiss it. That feeling was never asking you to panic. It was asking you to pay attention with kindness instead of fear. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and it may completely change the way you understand this chapter of your journey. What appears to be an ending is often only the first page of a deeper story, one that cannot be understood while looking only at the surface. The soul grows in quiet places, and sometimes another person's choices become the mirror that reveals how much strength has already been planted inside you. There is a reason your heart was led here today, and that reason is unfolding one gentle step at a time. Listen carefully. Not every step away is a rejection. Sometimes people move because they are still trying to understand themselves. Sometimes they mistake uncertainty for certainty, confusion for clarity, or comfort for destiny. They believe they are walking toward the answer, only to discover later that the answer was never found in changing directions but in changing their understanding. This is why today's message cannot be rushed. The decision you have been worrying about carries more meaning than it first appears. It is not as simple as someone choosing one path instead of another. There is a hidden layer beneath every visible action, and that hidden layer changes everything. Right now, your soulmate may appear to be moving toward a different future, and perhaps your heart has quietly wondered if someone else has taken the place you believed belonged to you. But before your thoughts begin writing painful stories, pause for a moment. Ask yourself this: what if the person they seem to be choosing is not really another person at all? What if they are chasing an old version of themselves, an unfinished dream, a familiar comfort, or a life they believed would bring peace? Hearts sometimes mistake unfinished lessons for lasting destinations. They follow what feels familiar until they finally recognize what truly feels like home. This is why appearances can be so convincing while reality is still unfolding behind the curtain. There are moments when silence speaks louder than conversations, and this is one of them. The distance you feel is not inviting you to lose hope. It is inviting you to discover the difference between waiting with fear and waiting with quiet confidence. There is wisdom in allowing every story to reveal itself before deciding how it ends. You were never asked to carry tomorrow before it arrives. You were only asked to remain open enough to recognize truth when it gently steps into the light. And something about this story is still waiting to be revealed. The choice that seems final may not be the choice that defines the ending. There is one conversation, one realization, one unexpected moment that has not yet happened, and until it does, the picture remains incomplete. That unseen moment is drawing closer than you realize, and when it arrives, everything you believed you understood today may begin to look completely different. A strange kind of silence often appears just before everything begins to make sense. It is the silence where assumptions grow louder than truth, where the heart starts filling empty spaces with stories that were never confirmed. Don't skip, because this is where the hidden layer begins to unfold. What seemed like a shocking decision is far more complicated than it first appeared. The path your soulmate has been walking has not been guided only by emotion. It has also been shaped by memories they never fully understood, expectations they quietly carried, and questions they kept asking themselves when no one else was listening. From the outside, it could look as though they have chosen to leave everything behind for someone else. But inside their own heart, the picture has never been that simple. Every time they tried to convince themselves that moving away would bring peace, another quiet feeling refused to disappear. It returned in unexpected moments, in ordinary days, in conversations that had nothing to do with you, and even in the stillness before sleep. There was always something unfinished calling their attention back. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and the next piece changes the meaning of everything you have heard so far. Sometimes people believe they are walking toward a new beginning, when in reality they are only walking in circles around a lesson they have not yet learned. Your soulmate has been trying to understand what truly brings lasting peace, and that search has led them into unexpected places. They have met different ideas, different influences, and different possibilities, hoping one of them would finally quiet the questions inside their heart. Yet each answer seemed complete for only a moment before another quiet doubt appeared. Have you ever noticed how the loudest choices are not always the deepest ones? The heart rarely speaks through noise. It speaks through what keeps returning, no matter how far someone tries to walk away from it. That is why this story cannot be judged by what is visible today. There is another chapter already beginning, one that neither you nor your soulmate fully expected. A conversation is approaching. A realization is growing quietly beneath the surface. A simple moment, one that almost anyone else would overlook, is preparing to reveal something neither of you has seen before. And when that moment arrives, the question will no longer be, who did they choose? The real question will become, did they ever truly understand what they were searching for in the first place? That answer has not been revealed yet, but it is closer now than it has ever been. There comes a moment when even the strongest assumptions begin to lose their certainty. It does not happen through a dramatic event or a sudden announcement. It happens quietly, almost unnoticed, like the first light appearing before sunrise. That is where this journey is leading now. Don't skip, because the next few moments reveal something that has been hidden behind every choice your soulmate has made. What looked like confidence from a distance was often uncertainty wearing a calm expression. They wanted to believe they had already found the direction they needed, yet every step forward seemed to bring another question they could not answer. The more they tried to silence their thoughts, the more those thoughts returned with unexpected clarity. It was never simply about leaving. It was about trying to understand why their heart refused to feel settled, no matter which path they imagined taking. There were quiet reminders they could not explain. A familiar feeling appearing in the middle of an ordinary day. A memory arriving without invitation. A small detail that unexpectedly carried your presence back into their thoughts. None of these moments demanded attention, yet together they became impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and this hidden turning point has only just begun. The person they believed they were moving toward seemed to offer certainty at first. Everything appeared easier, simpler, more predictable. But hearts are rarely fulfilled by what only feels comfortable. Comfort can calm the mind for a while, yet it cannot replace genuine connection. As time passed, your soulmate slowly began to notice something they had overlooked from the beginning. The conversations that once felt exciting became ordinary. The excitement they expected to grow quietly faded into routine. They started asking themselves a question they had been avoiding all along. am I following what truly matters to me, or am I simply following what feels familiar? That question changed everything. Not because it gave them an immediate answer, but because it opened a door they had been keeping closed. Behind that door were feelings they thought had already disappeared. Feelings they believed time had quietly erased. Yet instead of fading, those feelings had simply been waiting for the right moment to be understood. Sometimes the greatest realization is not discovering someone new. Sometimes it is finally recognizing the value of what your heart never truly released. And while your soulmate has not spoken these thoughts aloud, they are becoming harder to ignore with every passing day. The story is moving toward a moment neither of you expected, a moment where appearances begin to fall away, where intentions become clearer than words, and where one quiet decision will reveal what has been true beneath the surface all along. That moment is closer than either of you realizes, and when it finally arrives, everything that seemed uncertain today will begin to fit together in a way that no one could have predicted. Just when it seems the story has already chosen its direction, something unexpected begins to unfold beneath the surface. It does not arrive with loud words or dramatic scenes. It arrives through a quiet realization that can no longer be ignored. Don't skip, because this is the moment where hidden emotions begin to reveal themselves one gentle layer at a time. Your soulmate has started noticing something they overlooked for far too long. Every attempt to imagine a future without you feels complete for only a brief moment before an unspoken emptiness quietly returns. They cannot fully explain it. They have tried to focus on what appears easier, what seems more certain, what promises fewer questions. Yet the heart has a way of asking deeper questions long after the mind believes it has found an answer. This has become impossible for them to escape. In quiet moments, they have found themselves comparing feelings instead of circumstances. They expected excitement to replace what was left behind, yet they discovered that excitement fades while genuine connection leaves a lasting imprint. The more they reflected, the more they realized that what they had been searching for was never simply another person. They were searching for peace within themselves. And that search has slowly brought them back to memories they once tried to place behind them. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and the next realization changes the entire meaning of the title. The decision that once appeared final is no longer standing on solid ground. Doubt has quietly entered where certainty once lived. Questions have replaced confidence. Instead of asking whether leaving was the right choice, your soulmate has begun asking whether they truly understood what they were walking away from in the first place. That single shift has opened a door they never expected to revisit. They are beginning to remember the little things that cannot be recreated. The conversations that brought unexpected comfort, the quiet understanding that required no explanation, the feeling of being accepted without needing to become someone different. Those memories have not returned to create regret. They have returned to bring clarity. Sometimes the heart must travel a longer road before it recognizes the value of what was already within reach. There is still one final piece missing, one conversation yet to happen, one truth that has not fully reached the surface. When that moment arrives, everything that once looked like a farewell will be seen from an entirely different perspective. And that final revelation is drawing closer with every passing moment, carrying an answer that neither you nor your soulmate could have imagined at the beginning of this journey. The closer every hidden piece moves toward the light, the quieter everything becomes. It is almost as if life itself is creating space for one final understanding to settle into place. Don't skip, because what happens now is not the ending you may have expected when this journey first began. It is something far more meaningful. Your soulmate has reached a point where running from uncertainty no longer feels possible. The answers they hope to find somewhere else have not brought the lasting peace they imagined. Instead, they have gently revealed something unexpected. The person they believed they were choosing was never the true destination. It was simply a chapter that helped them recognize what their heart had been trying to say all along. Sometimes people must walk a different road before they understand why another path always remained quietly present in their thoughts. This realization did not arrive all at once. It came through ordinary moments, a familiar melody, a passing memory, a simple conversation, a quiet evening when everything finally slowed down. Those small moments began connecting like pieces of a puzzle. For the first time, they stopped asking, "Where should I go next?" and started asking, "What has my heart been trying to show me from the beginning?" That single question changed everything. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you, and this final truth carries the heart of the entire message. The title spoke of a shocking decision to leave you for someone else. Yet the greatest surprise was never another person. It was the realization that your soulmate had been trying to leave behind their own uncertainty, their own fear of choosing what truly mattered, and the version of themselves that believed peace could only be found somewhere different. As those old fears slowly faded, clarity quietly took their place. They began seeing that genuine connection cannot be measured by distance, silence, or temporary decisions. It is revealed by the quiet truth that continues returning, even after every distraction has passed. That does not guarantee how every relationship will unfold, because every person has their own choices to make. But it does remind you of something deeply important: your value has never depended on someone else's moment of confusion. Your worth has never been defined by another person's uncertainty. The journey has always been inviting you to grow in peace, patience, and quiet confidence, knowing that what is genuine becomes clearer with honesty, time, and understanding. So as this chapter gently comes to a close, let your heart rest instead of racing ahead. Some stories reveal their deepest meaning only after every assumption has fallen away. And perhaps that is the greatest revelation of all. Not that someone walked away forever, but that both hearts were quietly being guided toward a clearer understanding of themselves before any lasting decision could truly be made. The next chapter has not yet been written, but whatever it brings, you will meet it with greater wisdom, greater peace, and a heart that now understands its own quiet strength. There is a beautiful truth about the heart that few people recognize until much later. It rarely speaks through the loudest moments. Instead, it whispers through consistency, through quiet memories that refuse to disappear, through a gentle pull that remains even after every distraction has faded. Don't skip, because this final message is the one every previous moment has been leading toward. Your soulmate has reached a place where pretending has become more difficult than being honest with themselves. The answers they searched for outside of their own heart never stayed long enough to bring lasting peace. Every new direction seemed promising at first, yet each one eventually led back to the same quiet question they had been avoiding from the beginning. What is it that my heart has never truly let go of? That question has become impossible to silence. It has followed them through ordinary mornings, peaceful evenings, and unexpected moments when they least expected to think about the past. Slowly, without anyone noticing, their understanding has begun to change. They are no longer comparing people. They are comparing how they feel. And feelings built on sincerity have a way of standing quietly while everything temporary slowly fades away. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you. The greatest surprise was never that your soulmate looked in another direction. The greatest surprise is what they discovered while doing so. They discovered that genuine connection cannot be replaced simply because life becomes uncertain. They discovered that peace is not found by running from unanswered questions but by having the courage to face them with honesty. They discovered that what truly matters has a quiet way of remaining present, even after time has passed. As this journey reaches its closing moments, remember something your heart may need to hear today. Another person's season of uncertainty does not reduce your value. Another person's search does not erase the kindness you carry, the growth you have experienced, or the hope that continues to live inside you. Every meaningful connection is built through truth, respect, patience, and mutual choice. Those are the things that last. So leave this message not with fear, but with quiet confidence. Some stories begin with confusion so they can end with clarity. Some journeys create distance so deeper understanding has room to grow. And sometimes the most shocking decision is not someone choosing to leave, it is the moment they finally understand what has quietly mattered all along. Whatever tomorrow brings, let your heart remain steady, open, and hopeful. The chapter ahead is not asking you to chase what is uncertain. It is inviting you to welcome whatever is genuine with peace, wisdom, and quiet joy. And that is where the most meaningful stories truly begin. Sometimes the ending everyone expects never becomes the ending that truly arrives. Life has a gentle way of rewriting the final pages when hearts begin to see with greater clarity instead of greater fear. Don't skip, because this last reflection may become the part that stays with you long after every other word has faded. Looking back now, it becomes easier to understand why every moment felt so uncertain. The silence was never empty. The distance was never meaningless. Every pause created space for deeper understanding to grow. Your soulmate's journey was never simply about deciding who should remain in their future. It became a journey of discovering the kind of person they wanted to become before making any lasting choice. That realization changed everything. What once appeared to be a clear decision slowly revealed itself as a season of learning, reflection, and quiet growth. The answers they searched for were never waiting in another direction. They were waiting within the honesty they had been afraid to face. And as that honesty grew stronger, so did their ability to recognize what truly brought peace instead of temporary comfort. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you. There is also a message here for your own heart. You were never meant to measure your worth by someone else's uncertainty. Your kindness, your patience, your capacity to love, and the quiet strength you have built along the way remain valuable regardless of another person's journey. The right connections are not sustained by fear or urgency. They are strengthened through trust, understanding, and the willingness of two hearts to choose honesty again and again. As this story closes, allow yourself to release every conclusion that was built only on assumption. Let hope be steady instead of hurried. Let peace become louder than worry. Whether your paths meet again or continue in different directions, the greatest gift you carry forward is the wisdom you have gained. You now understand that lasting love is never created through pressure, but through mutual respect, sincere choice, and hearts that are ready at the same time. And perhaps that is the quiet miracle hidden inside this entire journey. What first appeared to be a painful ending became an invitation to grow, to understand, and to trust that every meaningful chapter unfolds in its own time. Walk forward with confidence, carry peace within you, and remember that the most beautiful stories are often the ones that reveal their true meaning only after every page has been turned.